Hello and welcome back to the City Structures channel. One of the final video in this series, I'd like to thank those who followed through to the end. If this is your first time here, you can check out the full playlist and learn how to use the robot software for RC design. Being our final video, we're going to look at how to create a simple report. We begin by setting up a title page, then we shall use the screen capture and calculation notes to obtain the design data. Hopefully this video will be as short as possible, so let's get to it. So we're going to begin by first setting up the page information, or just customizing the page. To do that, go to this icon here, print out composition. Shall be using this to compile all the data. For example, we have the screen captures, where we shall be adding the screen captures, or also any other file shall be inserting to the report. So we go to the page setup. In this place, just going to be customizing the basic size of the page, the orientation. If you go to margins, it's the same thing, the typical document setup for printing. What is more important here is the head and footer, the parameters. So the head and footer, you can decide to tick on them so that they can be available within the report. So I'm going to keep the table of contents active, the footer active. I can decide to also edit it. So this is how it looks like. So this is a variable here. That just means that the date is going to be applied there. On this side, the page number. So when you go to the page title, as you can see, I already created just an example. Now the way it's written here, this is how you write variables of that are within the software. So how to obtain them? Just go back, we'll go to parameters. If you were to just scroll through here, you're able to see the different variables and their values within the project. So you can decide to add, for example, as you can see, I had added here the investor name. So you can decide perhaps, let me just look for the company name. Perhaps I want to edit it, give it something like, let's just say City Structures, then set it. Then you can decide to also put the company address, let's say 1010, something of the sort. Set it, then perhaps maybe not add that. What else can we add? Where at the top? So you can add the engineer name. Let me just look for the engineer somewhere around here. So just select it. So you can add, let's give it a simple name, engineer Hardy Cross. And once you're done, now that we know how the variable is like, we can decide when we go to the head and footer, perhaps I want to change just a few things. We go to the company name. Rather let me begin with the engineer. So I'm just going to copy this value, select it, then copy, go back to the head and footer, click on the title page. So prepared by, just going to edit this part, then paste it, the engineer. Then I Ctrl S to save it and close it. Then I'm going back to the parameters, just going to add not the designer name but the company name, like that. I'm just going to copy this variable, go back here, so I can like that. So I save it, then I close. So once I'm done with that, I can decide to create a new template. Perhaps I can call it project template, for example. Then I can save it. Then once I'm done, press on OK. Then if I want to see how it looks like, I just click on preview here. So this is how it looks like. So this project is the one taken from the top here. It's just going to be the same name. Then the client, everything else. So you can edit it or you can add more fields as you like. Just close it. So next up, we're going to populate this part here with the screen captures. So let me just close this. Now to use the screen capture tool, use this camera here. Before we do that, of course, you want the visuals that we are taking to have all the information we need. For example, you might decide to take a couple of shots of the model. So want the model to have the information. Perhaps you want to add the dimensions. So go to tools, click on dimension tools, then just specify a couple of details here. It's the position of the text at the middle. Also want to have units. Then I can specify the span, then move it this point to this point, and this one also, like that. Then close it. I can also decide to just display the sections like that. Of course, you cannot know which section size it is, so I'm going to go to view, use the deep display window here, then mark with colors. We're just going to mark the sections, then apply. Okay, so as you can see at the bottom here, there's a legend just telling us beam 2 is of size 200 by 450, so this beam and this beam. Then we have columns of 300 by 300, like that. So I can decide this is the first capture I'm going to take. So it's also going to consider the load case that is going to be in, but that doesn't matter. So I can decide, let me just click on it. Then on these details, you can just set up a few things. So for the current view, select the current view as the option. It's going to add it to the screen capture, or rather the list of images that have been captured. If you copy it to clipboard, you can paste it into another external software. But for our case, I just want it to be within the software, so I leave it at here. Then the screen capture orientation, leave it as vertical. I want the resolution to be maximum, so in case I want to edit it later, it doesn't disturb me. I can change the label to just be model view, like that. Then I press OK. And if I go back to the filter composition, as you can see, it's here now. Now I can decide to move it here. We'll just do that later on. Next up, we can add the analysis results. To do that, I remember there's a video I showed you how to display the results, especially for individual members or continuous members. So I've just selected the two. Go to results, click on detailed analysis. Just lower this down. So in this layout, you can be able to just see the continuous, or rather how the different forces within the beam are going to be varied. So before we do anything, I just want to reduce the number of data here. Then let me add shear force and bending moment, then apply them. Then I also specify the load case. So I want it to be ULS for now. And I can decide to just zoom all so that I can be able to capture the whole screen. And once that is done, click on this camera, then detailed analysis. So you can say, or you can just leave it as that. Now let me change this. I can put brackets to just specify a shear force. In the bending moment. Then we press on OK. So still keep the settings as before. Then you can also display SLS as that. Screenshot it. So edit it the same way. Like that. And press OK. Now once we're done with that, you can go to now the design information. So I just click exit on this. do that, I'd already designed the beams, so I can just go back to where they were, provided reinforcement. Okay. So it does not selected them, so I'll have to redesign them again. So just select them, design them. So I've done these designs, I think in the previous video for provided reinforcement, just illustrated how to do it. So just going to use the manual combinations. Okay. I'm just going to perform a simple design. Perhaps I can just rename these things. Member design. Then this one here, can call it a continuous beam. The next step, I'm going to just set up the parameters. So I can either do that here. So I'd created a simple template. Let's call it example beam. Then I can set up the drawing parameters just as a template that I generated earlier on. Then I click on design. It shows me a green tick, so that's good. We move to beam diagrams. That's the first place you want to be at. Now the beam diagram just shows us the graphs of the forces and the design. So we have the required designs, or rather the provided and the required being compared. We also have the capacity of the beam being shown in comparison to what has been provided, as you can see here. So you can just go to this, view through these different tabs. So we want to display just a few graphs for now. I just want to see the theoretical. I haven't done any redistribution, so I just want these two. Apply them. Then I go to reinforcement. Only those. Apply them. So as you can see, the only graphs that are here for required reinforcement were not displayed for shear on this other side. So I just apply it also. So as you can see, I have the provided and the required. Provided is in red, the required is in blue. So it's satisfactory. Then you have the shear force and also the shear capacity of the beam being compared. Same for the bending moment and the moment capacity of the beam being compared. So you might decide that you want to copy this all these graphs at once. Perhaps you want to display or to show somebody just quickly. To do that, you can just click on this copy, and perhaps you're going to click on just paste it on Office here. So as you can see, you can quickly export it out, perhaps just show somebody, or let's just go back. Once you're done with that, go to the beam note here. And this one shows us all the information of the beam, the drawings that are there, and also the theoretical designs, the reinforcement provided, and also the material survey. So to extract this data, go to results, click on calculation note. Then you can just tick according to what you want to see. So I'll just tick all of them for now. Then when I press OK, it's going to generate the report. Now this is more of a word editing layout, so you can edit any data here. So perhaps you don't want to see certain things. In my case, I might decide I want these parts, so I just cut them, Control X. I place them at the bottom here, like that. Then I can get rid of this. And decide this is number 1, like that. Rather, I can even just remove it completely because it serves no purpose. I can decide to get rid of that, clear this out, like that. I'll just add some text there, then I can look through. So it all depends on you. I can just remove out certain things. I can get rid of this, get rid of this also, get rid of that one. Then look at the results. So the results are in graph form and also in tabular form, as you can see. So you can just move down and you remove that. So it all depends on what you want to see. Rather, you can even do the editing later on, another word editing software. So once you're done, now let's just change the font. Go to tools, another format, and font. So here you can decide that the font to be, let's say, Times New Roman. Then OK, it's been set. Then you can go file, save as. Just save it as okay, let's use that one. So let's replace it. Then you close it. So once you're done, you can look at the drawings also. So you go to this option here, drawings. I'd shown you earlier how to just generate these drawings for the different templates. So you can look at it. You can decide to just print it out as a PDF, which you can perhaps attach to the main report later on. Just press OK. Once it's done, that's OK. Now we go back to the main layout. We want to compile the full report. So we click on print out composition. Then these are all the views we had generated that you wanted to see. So you can begin with this one, just add it. So it's going to follow the order. And you can also add this. Of course, when you're adding this is going to be the titles of those parts where these images are going to be. So I can decide to just modify them. Perhaps I modify them like this. I can decide this is the, let's just call them results. QLS combination. Save them. The same for this one. Results. SLS combination. Then save it also. Then we close. Then once you're done, we can just have a preview. Might take a while because it's a lot. You can just look at how it looks like. Skim through the pages. So in the table of contents, as you can see, results, ULS, then SLS. Then we have the diagrams like that. So one thing I haven't added, just the calculation notes for the beam. So we're going to insert from file. We're going to go up, going to go to projects. Where had I saved it? Yeah, here it is. Then open it. And I'm going to add it also. Then just change the name. Can call it detailed results of design. Then just save it, close. Then if I want to save it or rather view it directly from Microsoft Word, I click on this icon here. This other side is one for HTML. So I'm just going to use this one for Word. So it's going to take a while because it's a lot of data. It's still loading. Once it's done, it's around 11 pages. So here you can go ahead and add more data to your liking. So we have the different screen captures here, like that. Then we have the beam design report. So the goodness is you can edit out whatever you don't want. Perhaps I can move this to another page. Then we have the graphs. So I can decide to just convert it into a PDF. So I'll just save it first. Just save it here. Let's call it project report. Then save it. So you can just view how it looks like. Plus, if you've done all the edits that you wish to do, then now you can check out how it looks like. And perhaps you can also add the drawings that I had exported earlier on. So that's how you create a simple report, or also how to just extract data from the software. I found this video useful. Don't hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel. In the next videos, we'll be looking at perhaps a new software. We'll be venturing more into the robot software. So see you in the next video.